Adita Lang.
Hello, hello. So on your table you have some handouts. And there's one handout that says to live it, and that's for you to take home, and you can read it when you get home. But there's another handout that's just like basically kind of an outline of what I'm going to talk about. And that one has, it's like the second thing on there. It has something for you to fill out. And if you could do me a favor before I get started, if you could fill that out for me, that would be good. So while you're doing that, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Adita Lang. I have a company called Nutritional Brilliance, and I'm a holistic lifestyle coach. So I basically help people manage their health through exercise, nutrition, and anything else we can put in there, right? I live on Key Biscayne, and many of you guys know my kids because you were their teachers. So are you filling out those three things on there for me? Does anybody not have that handout? There might be a couple on the middle of the table somewhere. I know you're probably looking at it thinking, what does this have to do with time management? But you'll see. Okay, so you guys got that filled out? I'm hoping so. It's just three things. You know what? I think there's something in the middle of that table. If anybody has extras on their table, maybe just raise your hands because I think that some people are laughing. Okay, so everyone got one of those sheets, yes? Oh, no?
Who needs one?
Who needs one? Here, Sylvia Travel has it. She's walking around. Okay, we all hopefully got one. Okay, so let's get started. First off, is the food good? I hope so. It's a nice break in the day, right? Let me ask something. What is time management? Right, time management is a way of maximizing our time so we can maximize our day. And I think that's a really, really important factor. Because at the end of the day, we want to have a great day. And if we're boggled down with way too many things that really have no meaning, it's going to put a damper on our day, right? So how do we have a great day? Well, one of the first things is, and here's where those three questions come into play, right? I'm not going to put anybody on the spot, but I'm going to say a couple of things about those three things that you just wrote down for me. I bet 10 to 1, you guys put family. Right? Okay. I bet 10 to 1, you put work. Yeah? Okay. And you don't have to answer me. You don't have to answer me. But here's the question I'm looking for. The answer I'm looking for, right? Did anybody on the number 1 spot put yourself? Okay? And that's, guys, and I know this sounds silly, but these are your highest priorities in life. Okay? And if you can't take care of yourself, and if you're not happy, and if you're not healthy, how can you take care of your family, your spouse, the kids in your class, and anybody else that comes along your way? Okay? So the first thing I'm going to tell you about time management is, baby, you got to love yourself, and you got to do something for yourself. Okay? Almost sounds like a support group kind of statement, okay? But no, it's true. You have to do something for yourself, and we tend to forget. We get caught up on this rug race of our day, and we do all this stuff, and we have to do all these things for our children, and our class, and the parents, and our husbands and wives, and everybody else, and we forget about ourselves. Okay, so the very first thing is yourself. So here you go. Now, how do you set up time management, right? And this is going to be just kind of a little brief thing, right? But you have to be happy. So when you're setting up your schedule, you have to set up something that's going to make you happy. Because the happier you are, the easier control your life. If you have no control over your life, then you probably aren't very happy, or there's something lacking, and that's where you have to kind of back up. I think one of the most important things I can teach anybody is at least once a month, you have to take a step back, and you have to kind of look at your schedule and look at all the things that you're doing and say, is this really working for me? And you have to reevaluate that every single month. And we don't do that because we're so caught up in our day-to-day and our schedule, and we got to make breakfast, and we got to do laundry, and we got to do all of these things, that the day's over, and you sit there and you just stare at a wall and go, oh my God, it's over, thank God. I think we're on Friday. No, it's Tuesday. Sorry. Okay? So, we go through that. So here we go. So how do we set up our schedule? Everybody needs some kind of an itinerary. It makes life so much easier. It really does. Be it if you're going to do it on your iPhone, your iPad, your iCalendar, your whatever, you've got to have some kind of a written down schedule, because when you do that, you all of a sudden realize that you have time for things. Because the other thing is we have all of these things in our day that are they're like time robbers, right? How many emails do you get a day? Okay? And how many of them are really relevant? I don't even read them. I go through, the first thing I do when I get my emails, I look at them, I push edit, and I hit delete on all the ones I have to delete. Okay? So 50 of them got deleted, and I read 3. Okay? Yeah, come on. So you have to start in your day, at the same time, it goes with mail, junk mail. Give me a break. Who needs to read junk mail? These are things that rob our time. And if you think about it, I'm sorry, I don't know about you guys, but I would prefer to take all that time from reading my emails and the junk mail and getting a manicure. That's my priority, right? So you have to kind of start deciding, okay, what is important to me? Because you got to find something that is important to you. And the other thing that I could instill in somebody is that every day you have to do something that's important to you. Even if it's only 10 minutes. 10 minutes of doing something that's very important to you on your own is going to make an enormous impact on the rest of your day. So again, scheduling yourself. We've got something that are like, they're givens, right? We have a work schedule. We work from whatever time to whatever time. 9 to 5, 8 to 4, whatever it is, right? So if you took a piece of paper and you said, okay, this is where I work during this time. Okay, that's fine. Now, what are you going to do with the other time? Well, in the morning, I make breakfast for my kids, I do this, that, and the other. So you kind of schedule yourself out, and you decide, I need to have a workout. Where am I going to put that workout in? And you lay it all out. And the more detailed you can lay something out on a piece of paper or on an iCalendar or anything else, the easier it's going to be for you to realize, all of a sudden, really truly realize, oh my God, I have extra time. Because we don't think about that. If we get too caught up in the wheels of our day, all of a sudden, one thing leads into the next, and I'm talking to so-and-so on the phone, and I've all of a sudden run into so-and-so, and I'm doing this, and the day goes by. But now, on the other hand, if I have a schedule, and somebody comes to talk to me, it's like, honey, I'm sorry, I don't have time to talk to you. I've got to be somewhere. And it's interesting. Melissa got an email. I have no idea who sent this email, but she says to me, okay, I had something that I want that you need to talk about. And one of the recommendations for this talk was, how do you say no without feeling guilty? Well, I'm going to be tacky. Well, damn it, just say no. Okay? Do we have to feel guilty about saying no? No. You know what? It comes a point in our day and in our lives that we have to do what makes us happy. And if something doesn't make us happy, and if something's going to interfere in our day, we have to learn to say no, because that's only going to make us a happier individual. I have a very dear friend who does everything for us. She will do anything I ask her to, and she'll never do anything for her own self. And it kills me. And one day I looked at her and I said, honey, I thought, you have to learn to say no to me. I'm sorry, you've got to put your foot down and say no. And she was like, and in the background, when you look at the whole psychology of saying no, it has to do with something that we fear in the background. We fear what other people will think. Okay? And if you fear what other people will think, now you got to go back to that, I got to love myself. Because if I fear what other people think, then that has to do with my own self-esteem. Right? So it goes back to that being happy. It's important for us to be happy, for us to focus on ourselves, do something for ourselves, and then at that time our self-esteem grows up, and we realize that, you know what, it's okay for me to say no. Right? I can. And they're going to be just fine with it. And if for some reason they're not fine with it, well, then they weren't a friend. And then we kind of don't need them anyways. Does that make sense? Right? We have to learn to kind of, I think as we get older, you know, when we were younger, we just loved having people around us. I had this conversation with a girlfriend of mine this morning. We had tons of people around us. Half of them were acquaintances. You know the difference between an acquaintance and a friend, right? They were acquaintances. We had a lot of acquaintances around us. But when you look back, a true friend is someone who will be with you all the time, at any given point in time. You don't speak to them for a year, and you call them, and they are there for you. Those are true friends. And those are the people you really want around you. Okay? So if an acquaintance comes and asks you to do something, do you really need to? No. Why? And if they don't think that you're nice about it, and if they don't have respect for you because you said no, does it matter? No. So there's the answer to that question. Just say no. Right? And that's okay. I think so. But on that other note, we got to talk about being happy. Because on time management, it's all about our happiness. You know something? One of the greatest things to me has always been, I love what I do. Can you tell? Okay? And that is important. The passion, again, I have these group of people that I talk to all the time. And when you're really passionate about something, in a weird way, time doesn't matter. It's like you get caught up in doing something and you're just so passionate about getting something done, and it makes you happy and it inspires you. And that inspiration then transcends to your children, to your husband, because you're so excited about whatever it is that you did because you got that passion inside you. That passion is important. And only you know where that passion comes from. And only you can ignite that passion. And if every day you're not igniting that passion, I'm going to need you to step 2 steps back and reevaluate the situation. Because again, it goes back to that, time management, our health and our life and our happiness. It all goes together, guys. Because if we're trying to set up our schedule and, maximize time, we need to maximize it in a way that's going to enhance us as human beings. Right? And it's going to put a big, happy smile on our face, and it's going to inspire us to do more. So on that same breath, we talk about exercise and eating right. Because those things, if we're not exercising and we're not eating right, then all of a sudden that's going to drain us down. We're not going to have the energy to keep going at the end of the day. 3 o'clock is going to come, and we're going to sit there just staring at a wall going, oh my God, I can't function, I can't move forward. Well, that's not fair to us either, because all of a sudden, what does that do? It dampers into our day. So if my intention was to get my manicure at 4, I'm going to be exhausted. I can't go do that. Right? So I want to have the energy to be able to do everything that I want to do. And so you got to include that exercise. The human body was meant to move. It was meant to feel alive all day long. And if food tends to boggle you down, or the lack of exercise boggles you down, then that's important. That's something else that you need to add into your array. So now you're all sitting there going, oh my God, I have this, that, and that to do. And now she's adding exercise and eating right to that plan. I have no time for that. Okay? Well, that again is when you go back and you say, you know what, let me get a sheet of paper, and let me set it out. I wake up, we'll take my schedule. I wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning. Okay, I like to wake. It was a fitness thing. You always woke up early because you had clients, right? So I like to wake up at 6, and that way I don't have to rush. Because all my life, when I did personal training, I had to rush, and I don't want to rush anymore. And with 2 kids, there's no way of rushing, right? So I do the 6 o'clock. I get up nice and casually. I have my morning tea, and I now can talk to everybody. Before tea, don't talk to me before tea. It doesn't work, okay? So now that's part of my day. That's part of my rituals and my routine. So here's another thing. What is your personal ritual? We all have to have a ritual, guys. And a ritual could be a hobby. It could be reading for 10 minutes your favorite book out in the sun. It could be anything. But you got to have a ritual, because that's only going to do what? It's going to enrich your life, which then what means that you're going to enrich others. And it's going to make you happier to deal with everybody else. So those are just a few points that I wanted to get to you guys. And hopefully you'll sit and think about it. And if you have any other questions, my email's on the bottom of that sheet of paper. And hopefully that'll inspire you to kind of set a good plan. You think? Yes. Good. Do we have any questions? Enjoy the rest of the day. I have something there. Every year I do what's called a Live It. And that a Live It is all the different research that I read throughout the years that help us enhance our life and our health. So that's my new Live It. And so you guys can look at that and hopefully it'll give you some points to maximize your health and inspire you. Bye.
Thank you, Adita.